Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Manchester United have got an enormous game of football tomorrow night. Real Sociedad in the Europa League. A win puts us straight into the hat for the next round. Anything other than a win with the correct score is going to leave us with a playoff. Real Sociedad are... Well, they got some availability issues, and we're going to get into those, but they're currently 5th in La Liga. United have won 3 of our last 5 games against Real Sociedad. They have won 12 of their last 15 matches, including 5 in a row in the Europa League. So they've been formidable this season. It's whether or not we can go to Spain, where we typically aren't the best, and pull a result out. Now, they build up from defence as you would expect a technical Spanish side to do. It's a very strict positional approach. Players occupy preset static positions. They create angles and distances to try and stretch your defensive shape, and then they try and progress the ball with control. It's good. It's very good. In the 21-22 season, that was deployed in either a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-2 diamond, and both tactics work almost identically, to be honest. The centre-halves are going to split. The fullbacks are going to pull wide on both sides. Defensive midfielder is going to occupy the space in between the midfields and attack of the opposition, and then the attacking midfielders pull wide to stretch the opposition's midfield almost ahead of the fullbacks a little bit. Sociedad are going to look for one of two things. To play through the lines, they utilise those attacking midfielders like 2 number 10s. Try to combine them with strikers. And if the middle is congested, they look to try and find the fullbacks in space and then attack and penetrate the box. That's their 2 sort of goals once they get in possession. Defensively, they press very high with aggression. It's coordinated, it's fluid, and their aim is simple. Compact the space around the ball, flood it with bodies, and that's the case where the ball is central, wide, wherever it is. They're a great team to watch tactically, almost fascinating team to watch from a tactical perspective. Now, the latest news in terms of availabilities, it's ropey for them. It is ropey for them. I'm not going to give you my predicted 11. I'm just going to say that Kubo, David Silva, Berencia, Cho, Munoz, and Orizabal and Sadiq are all ruled out for Sociedad. So I have no idea how they're going to line up. Starman, though, he is available, and that is Brais Mendes. Top scorer for them this season, 5 goals, 2 assists, all competitions. Got really good receiving skills, collects the ball in tight areas, he's effective in between the lines. He's got pressure from even with pressure from behind, and he's got a lot of flair about him as well. Very fluid, skillful footballer. Most goals per 90 out of the entire squad, with 1 every 0.46. Plays on the right wing. Likes to cut inside, and a little bit like Mahrez in how he sort of delivers it. Match winner for Manchester United. I'm gonna go with Marcus Rashford, fresh off the back of some headed goal exploits, his 100th goal for Manchester United. I think because of the high line that I expect Sociedad to deploy, I don't think they'll try and play a low block. They try and press, which means a high line. Marcus Rashford will, and his pace will be United's biggest threat. The width and the pace down the side beats almost anyone, and it doesn't matter how good you are. If you play a high line, you can't beat the physicality of pace. You can't. If they go narrow, you got to hold your width. You should get a lot more service than you got in recent games doing that. Can he create 2v1s with Luke Shaw on that left-hand side? I believe they can. He's in much better form. When he's playing with some confidence, he's quite formidable, and he's playing quite well at the moment. And he looks happy. If he can carry that confidence and momentum into this game, he could be massive. The starting 11 I'm going to go with for United then, David Gea in net. I believe the back four, Delos are the most certain player in this entire back four at the moment, I think. I believe it'll be Maguire, and I believe that'll be a mistake, but I don't believe there's anybody else fit that can play. Martinez and Shaw rounds out the rest of the back four. it's got to be Casemiro and Eriksen because they're unbelievable. We go with Bruno, and then we go with Anthony, Ronaldo, and Rashford as a forward three. And I think we can have it. And the way that we take it to them and the way that we beat them is quite simple. It's quite straightforward. You got to use the wide areas. The kryptonite for a diamond formation is width, and that can be width across the midfield. That can be width with the fullbacks, or it can be width with the wingers. There's always a little bit of space in that channel when it's a diamond. And even if it's not a diamond, the way they deploy the two number 10s, they don't cover enough ground, in my opinion, to be able to deal with teams that are going to put players in the wide areas. And I think there's something going to be fascinating here. Now, United have deployed their fullbacks centrally, inverted. And we've asked our wingers to step out wide, and we've pushed our sort of attacking midfielders into the sort of zones around where you would want like a number 6 to be. Who picks those up when the opposition has two attacking midfielders? I think if you push your fullback central in this circumstance, it might get a little bit congested. A little bit congested. I think if you ask them to overlap in this particular game, you might have a little bit of joy. You got to find 2v1s on their fullbacks. That is the weakness of Real Sociedad. You got to attack them with speed. You got to look to try and get in behind. You got to play the ball early. That's why Eriksen has to be involved. United can't build up too slowly. Look, we're in the hat. We're in the playoff. Whether we go out here and lose, we're not getting knocked out of the cup. It's a great position for United to be in because Real Sociedad can get a draw. They get a draw, they're fine. But the mentality of going into a game going, well, a draw does us, versus we got nothing to lose and everything to gain if we get a win. It really suits you, enables you to be a front foot team that actually goes for it. So go for it. Play Anthony, play Ronaldo, play Marcus Rashford, and go for it. Put them under. Take the brakes off. Have it. But the flip side of when there's space in those wide areas is you got to be wary of a midfield overload. They're going to pack the midfield with bodies. If they play a 4-3-3, it might be a false 9. They go 4v3 in the centre of the pitch. And they're good and technical enough to just pop it round you like you ain't even there. Honestly, it would not be anything for them to do that. It would be very, very easy and straightforward for them to do that, like it ain't shit. They got talented players there. In fact, the most talent in the team is in the midfield. It could be a problem if they get comfortable with possession. Are United good trying to... Because it's not going to be a counter-attacking United side because we want to attack this team. It could be an awkward game for us. They're always going to have +1 in the centre. That's a thing that United have to overcome. I think it's going to be a tactically fascinating game. I just hope United really let the brakes off and go for it, because I think if they do, we have got some serious firepower in there. And I'd love to see what it can do. Let me know your score predictions and first goal scorer in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.